This is Kim with Mom's Creative Moments. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to have a 101.5 lesson on what to do with layouts that you may have that don't have photos on them. And you might be saying, well, I make every layout to go with the photos that I have. And that's fine. That's the way I have scrapbooked in the past. But there is another way, and some folks out there do create layouts without adding the photos. I have become one of those people. Mostly because I'm showing you project recipes and things like that that I don't necessarily have photos for just yet, or because I participate in virtual events where I want to create the layouts that designers have created for the event, and I don't have the photos that I may want to use on those layouts. So I have to do something with those layouts in order to be able to use them later on. So I thought I would show you kind of how I organize those and how I incorporate them into my albums as I come across a need for them. So today I am at a place in my Ireland album where I need to do a layout for a seaside community. If you've been watching my Ireland series, then you know that we are currently in Kinsale on our vacation, and it is a seaside community, and we are the next layout is kind of some of the things that we found as we began our walk through this quaint little town. It's definitely a seaside town, so it deserves a seaside theme, and I know that I've done layouts in the past that will go with this theme. So let me show you, and we're going to have to cut to a different camera, so bear with me, but let me show you how I would go about incorporating these pictures and the layout that's already done and that I can add really quickly. All right, so I store all of my finished layouts that just need my photos added in a softbox like this. And you can see I've accumulated quite a few. I use these larger dividers that you get when you order a cover set from Creative Memories. I save them, and then I use them because they help more flexible things like this to stay straight in a file like this. And so I use these as separators, and then I have some clear plastic dividers that I have adhered to the thicker ones and labeled. So I label them by seasons, and then I have a section for Christmas, and I have a section, this one's not labeled, but I have a section for things like pictures of me and my husband. And then these up here are just kind of everyday household type layouts, just kind of don't really have a theme. But the rest of these have, you know, a winter theme. You remember when I did the igloo, or summer. So this one, which is somewhere in my video history. Anyway, so I have just a lot of different layouts in here. And I came across, as I was searching in here, this group of layouts right here, which went with one of our sea-related collections. And I think this was Seas Please, but honestly, I don't really remember for sure. But I pulled this out so that I could take a look at it and see if one of these would work with the photos that I'm working on today. All right, so let's check out what's in this packet. And again, this was a Pack to Pretty Pages kind of a project that I did a while back, and so I don't typically have all the layouts on one theme in one bag, but if I've done a Pack to Pretty Pages, I try to keep those together just because I may be doing more than one layout on a theme. So I have several layouts in here, but I think, having looked at this prior to doing the video, that this layout is actually going to be the best one for the photos that I have. So I'm going to go ahead and not show you all of these, but just set those aside. Okay, so this one works really nicely, I think, with the photos that I have, aside from the sea turtle over here, which we don't really have turtles. I don't think there are turtles in Ireland, but I don't know. Maybe there are. All right, so let me, before we get to laying that out, let me just show you another one that I just did. So this is a layout that I had done a while back, and it had just empty mats on it when I pulled this out. And I added, these are the initial photos for the hotel that we stayed in, the Actons Hotel in Kinsale. Really, really beautiful, older hotel, but really, all of the rooms, as you can see, have just a beautiful view of the bay, which is lovely. And this is the view from our room, and this is a view from one of our rooms as well. So really lovely. But when you add your photos to a layout that already has mats, sometimes the photos don't all fit, or they're not all going the direction that you want, which is why, if you've seen some of my videos where I've done project recipes, I will sometimes add my mats with repositionable adhesive and just put a little bit on the back of the mat and stick it on where the mat is called for. And I do that so that when I go to add my own photos, if I need to turn it horizontal or turn it vertical if it's already horizontal, I can do that with minimal destruction to the layout. This time I didn't have too many things that I needed to change, but I did add here, I added 2 separate photos. I don't know if you can really tell that, but and I may move this one over, but these are the crutches that Emily ended up using for a majority of the rest of our trip after she injured herself. And this is Haley looking out one of the bay windows from one of our hotel suites that we were in. And I've added them to the same mat because I didn't have space to put them anywhere else, and I think it works just fine. But I think I will separate that and move it over just a little so it's obvious that it's 2 different pictures. If you want to see the video for how I put this layout together, go to the end of this video and it'll play for you. It does take about 15 minutes-ish. So yeah, if you want to see it, it'll be right at the end. This is the note that the receptionist gave us for where we could find some crutches if she couldn't come up with any. But fortunately, she was very kind and brought us some. This is the layout we just did that was in the last video, so you'll recognize that. I'm going to set this aside and we're going to jump into taking care of this one. So remember how I said I temporarily adhere my mats? See how these just sort of pop up? Because they're not put down to stay there. However, I think we can make this work with these mats where they are. Most of them are going to get covered up, so I just wanted to show you what this layout looks like with the mats. And if you do this with mats like we've done here, you know, you can always leave one of the mats showing and use that in your layout. But I don't think we're going to end up doing that. So this one I think I'm going to need to trim, and I think I'm going to put it up here so that it won't have a mat. And the rest of these are going to need to be trimmed just a little bit as well. They're going to go something like that. Or we might put this one up here and this one down here. These are going to go here. We're going to do a peekaboo pocket for those there. This one can go here because it's vertical, and this cute one of my son can go down here in the corner. So I'm going to do a little bit of trimming real quick, and we're going to probably need to speed this along, but I'm going to trim these so that they'll all fit, and we'll get them adhered, and then we'll come back and take another look at the layout. All right, and just like that, we are done. Of course, I do need to go ahead and adhere these papers to my pages, which I will do in just a moment. But you can see how adding photos changes the whole look of the layout, because you can see less of the pictures and less of the matte pictures and more of the actual photos that you want to look at. I'm going to use this area up here to journal in because I didn't have a picture that would work there, and I didn't want to rearrange all the mats to try to figure out where best to put it. But I could have, if I needed to or wanted to, I could have removed all of the mats and basically arrange them however I wanted, which is the benefit to not adhering them down all the way when you create a layout that you know you're not going to use right away. All right, so just some ideas and tips, and I hope this has been helpful for you. Until next time, I hope you have many more creative moments. I'll see you Wednesday. So earlier this year, I put together this layout, and this is, I'm trying to remember if it was a sketch that I was following or a virtual crop challenge. Honestly, I don't really remember. But I put this together and used the new Ireland theme pack papers and a few extra embellishments, stickers from other themes. These are from NSD 2021. Anyway, and then I put this away. So that happens a lot with me because I'm doing project recipes for you to share, and I'm you know, occasionally I'll do a layout just so that I can complete it for a sketch that I've seen. And when that happens, I don't often have the photos that I want to go on that layout, but I try to remember that it exists so that I can go back to it. And so I put this layout with all of my Ireland supplies so that I would remember that it existed, so that I would use it in my album. And following Emily's accident, I mentioned, I think in the other video, that we changed our plans just a little bit. We had originally planned on going to Blarney Castle and grounds after going to the Rock of Cashel, but because of Emily twisting her ankle and getting hurt, we decided that we needed to kind of revamp things. So we do still get to go to Blarney. That is still coming up, but we postponed it to the next day, and our sweet tour guide just went ahead and took us on to our hotel, where we were able to kind of just relax and settle in and get some dinner and just enjoy the evening. So the photos that I have that are going to go on this page are kind of from our arrival at our new hotel for the evening, and the next couple of layouts that I'm going to be doing in the album are all about Kinsale. It's spelled with a K, Kinsale, Kinsale, Ireland, and the beautiful hotel that was there, the lovely staff who took wonderful care of us, and the cute little town of Kinsale, because it really is a darling place. The photos that I'm going to put on this layout, however, are just kind of our arrival and a few things. So I just thought I would kind of show you how I figure out what to do with pages like this that I've already created, because I know I've heard people in the past say, oh, I don't know what I would do with that because I don't have any photos, so why should I put that together? Well, you should still put it together. You'll use it eventually. I had a lot of vertical photos, or kind of an equal amount of vertical and horizontal, but more vertical photos than horizontal photos. And so I'm going to use a couple of peekaboo pockets. This is a beautiful picture of the front of the hotel. This is the opposite, looking out at the harbor that is directly in front of the hotel. This is taken from one of our rooms looking out. And so that's going to go there. This is the interior of probably the same room. I don't really remember. And this was the sunset that night. So I'm going to trim these down just a little bit so we can still see the mats that are underneath. And this one over here in particular is going to be just a little bit unique, because I'm using one mat for 2 pictures and a peekaboo pocket. So I'll show you how I do that when we get back. But I'm just going to trim down kind of the rest of these so that you can see where we're going with this. Alright, so I've cut all of these down, and most of them are roughly 3 5/8 by 5 1/2, which works really nicely for the size mats that are on here, as you can see. And so I'm just going to add these in. It's a really quick process. It doesn't take very long at all. If you want, you can add journaling. So like I cut this one just a little more narrow than I probably would have liked. But if I place it a little bit towards the top of that mat, then I can journal on the space below it, which is what I will probably do. Although I could also journal here in this space, which would be fine too. Depends on how much of a story I'm trying to write, I guess. This is a beautiful picture of the harbor. So let's see, I'm going to adjust this one so that it's closer to the bottom. rather than closer to the top. This one's going to go in a peekaboo pocket above it. So I didn't trim the sides of this one because it'll fit into a 4x6 peekaboo pocket pretty well. So I'm just going to leave that one like it is. And then this one, I want to lift that paper up. It wasn't glued down, but it just couldn't seem to slide the photo under it. This hotel was called the Actons Hotel of Kinsale. It was a lovely, lovely old hotel. And they were so kind there. The receptionist actually went home when she found out we needed crutches and we were looking for crutches. She wrote down this phone number for the closest pharmacy that would be able to help us get some crutches, but she said, wait, don't call them just yet. I think I have some at my house. And so the next morning when we came down to breakfast, she had brought the crutches, these crutches right here, for Emily to be able to use, which was so lovely of her. And we left them with our tour guide and asked him if he would please return them to her. But we were so grateful that she was willing to let us use them so that Emily could get around and not always have to be in a wheelchair. This is actually a picture of my youngest daughter, Haley. She was sitting there in front of the window looking out and just looked so regal the way she was sitting there. I thought, I'm just going to take her picture because she's so cute. So anyway, this is going to go over top of these two photos, mainly because I wanted to include this photo, but I didn't have room. And this one, I really didn't need all the extra empty wall space behind it, so I just decided to combine those two. This is in a peekaboo pocket that'll go over the top. And I may actually put some cardstock behind this and write the story that I just told you on the back. If I don't do that, then I'll be writing it right here, and I'm just not sure I have enough room to write everything I would like right there. Anyway, this is just a really quick way to show you kind of that I do use my photos or my layouts that I create, that you see me create, that don't have photos. I do get back to them and I do use them. Most of the time it's in my family album that I put together quickly using all of the layouts that I've already completed for you guys. So then my family album goes together very quickly because I've already got the layouts finished for the most part. It does take a little bit of finagling sometimes to make everything fit the way you want it, but for the most part it goes together really easily. So that one will get a peekaboo pocket that I neglected to pull out. I'm going to flip this over, glue this in, and then we'll be all ready to proceed with where we went to dinner and walking around the little town. The town of Kinsale has some really fun things in it you're not going to want to miss, so I hope you'll join me for that. And let me just get this lined up and glued in, adhered to the page. There we go. That is the quick way to do a layout, let me tell you. Just like that. Thanks so much for joining me. Till next time, I hope you have many more creative moments. Have a great day.